you? Oh my gosh, I haven't talked to you in like forever. Forever.
I think the last time we spoke, that wasn't the last time we spoke, but you made a jacket for me out of my jean
Yeah.
jacket. Loved it. Lost the jacket while we was moving, but made a jacket for me, and we was like kind of cool ever since. I think I didn't pop up at one of your little get-togethers, and then like we kind of fell off, but it was
Yeah.
never no love lost. It was just like
Yeah.
So what's up with
We
you?
just grew apart. That was it.
What's up with you? What you been up to?
Well, now I don't really, like I told you, I didn't really like see your posts on social media for a while or whatever, and then you said you like went ghost. So I don't know like where you left off with seeing like what I posted, but since last year I've opened up a store, an actual
Congrats.
storefront. Thank you. I'm in Blackwood now. I started off in Westville, but the spot that I was in was too small. So like 3 months in, I'm like, yeah, I need to move out of here. Luckily, I only signed a 6-month lease. So I moved out in 6 months, and then I moved into the spot that I'm in now. So yeah, I love it.
And what's the store called?
Modern Lux Studio.
Modern Love Studio. So for the people at home, if you're in the Blackwood area, check out the Modern Love Studio. So walk us through this, right? So you started the store, you started your business, your brand in what year?
Oh gosh. So Modern Lux Studio started last year. When I decided to open the store, I wanted to change. I already wanted to change my name because I was going by Crown and Gold for like 3 years. And then like I want to change my name. I'm opening the store. So Modern Lux Studio came about last year. But 2016 is when Crown and Gold, where I started at, like really like got me started or whatever.
So why fashion? Was fashion always something that you really wanted to get into, or like you just kind of stumble across? And I don't like to use the word stumble, but did you kind of just notice like other fashion brands and things like that? Like, I can do that, and not only do that, but I can do that better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
I think it started in middle school. I honestly used to be a tomboy. I didn't care about how I looked. Hair is always in a ponytail, like sneakers, t-shirt type of girl. So once I got
like
to middle
85%
school,
of Black girls growing up. It's okay.
once I got to middle school, just being around other kids, it kind of like changed for me. I wanted to, my appearance mattered to me more. And my aunt is actually a fashion designer. She gave me my first sewing machine and stuff like that when I was in middle school. So from there, it started. I didn't really take anything seriously until I got out of high school.
So it kind of runs in the family, though.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So seeing her, like, how far has she taken it?
She, like, if I have, like, even today, if I have any questions or whatever, like, I can call her up, like, yo, auntie, like, what do I do with this? Or whether it has to do with making something or business-wise. Like, I've asked her before about contracts or whatever. So when I first started off, she was, like, a big help. But then I'm one of them type of people, like, I want to learn it on my own. I want to do it on my own. Yeah. So I really never, like, after a while, I stopped hitting her up unless I, like, really needed her. I knew, like, if I needed to call her 1 o'clock in the morning, like, she would, like, be there to help me. But for, like, the last few years, it's been me figuring it out on my own, honestly.
So that moment when you felt like I can do this on my own, and not necessarily on your own, but I don't have to keep knocking on her door at every little turn. How big of a step was that for you to take in your growth in your business?
It was, like, honestly a big step because that was me stepping out of my comfort zone, honestly. Not having to depend on somebody else or go to somebody else for something, which is something I'd rather do just to get somebody's opinion. But when I decided to do that, you know, like, just figure it out on your own. Like, it's better that way because trial and error, like, business-wise, me going through stuff by myself and figuring out myself has been one of the greatest accomplishments that I've been able to do because I'm figuring stuff out on my own, what works best for me and what doesn't, instead of following somebody else's footsteps to see what worked best for them, you know, whatever.
Yeah, well, that's interesting that you say that because I see that every day. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure you see it too. Like when you're scrolling down the gram, you know, somebody's opening something, somebody's starting something. And very few can continue after that initial, I give it
First
like 3
couple months.
months. Yeah, like
Yeah.
very few can continue that. So Why is it, do you think, that a lot of people get that and then they say it's not for me, or they just fall off from it?
I think it's because they see where other people's businesses are at. Like, say, for instance, somebody selling jewelry, they might see somebody else selling jewelry, getting sales, they got clientele and stuff like that. And they don't see that for themselves because they didn't put the work in. You don't know how long that person was, in business, how long it took them to get constant sales and stuff like that. Like, for me, I was just talking to my friend about this the other day. We were talking about something. She was like, do you follow this person on social media? And it was a celebrity. And I'm like, no, I don't follow celebrities on Facebook or Instagram and stuff like that, because I don't want to look at their life and compare their life to my life. Like, damn, like, why don't I have that? I can't just go into Louis and just buy a bag, like, I don't want to see that type of stuff until I'm at that point, like, oh yeah, I can do that. I'll be okay with watching somebody else do it.
Mm.
And I feel like most
So you don't
people,
want to
they
follow
see
them
how
until you're
somebody else.
eye level with them.
Say it again.
So you don't want to follow them on social media platforms until you're eye level with them, not looking
Yeah,
up at them, but you're like, you're my peer now. It's nothing.
yeah,
You're not about to
exactly.
little homie me. I'm the homie. You feel me? Like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
dope.
But yeah, that's what I told her. She was like, yeah, you're right. So I'm like, when it comes to like stuff like that, I feel like people see how other people's businesses is going for them, and they don't get that same satisfaction right away. We're in a generation where people want satisfaction right away anyway. So when people don't get that, they can't follow through. And
Mm.
it takes time. Like, where I'm at now, it took me, honestly, I started like making like shorts and stuff like that when I was like a freshman in high school. I mean, freshman in college. So like 2012. It's
Mm.
been what? And what is now 2020? It took me almost 10 years to get to where I'm at. Constant sales, hitting financial goals and stuff like that. It took time, but there's people that just started following me on social media, see that I opened up last year, but don't know that it took me 8 years to even get to that point.
Mm. And then there's still a level after that. But it's interesting you say that, because I think we're in a generation where, like you said, everybody wants things quick. And I kind of call it instant oatmeal. Like, you put water in it, you put it in the microwave, and boom, in a minute, it's good. So if I tell you I'm going to
Right.
start a business, yo, in these 3 months, I better be seeing six figures. I better be doing this. But a
Yeah.
lot of people don't understand the stress, not only the grind, because you got to grind for a 9-to-5 job. You don't want
Yeah.
to get up so early in the morning and then go there, beat traffic and all that. You don't want to pack your lunch and whatnot. You have to grind for 9-to-5 job. But they don't understand the stress that goes into starting your own business, and then making sure that not only am I starting a business, not only am I sticking to it, making sure that this shit stays alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, because
exactly.
there's so many things working against you. So my thing is, like I said, you branching out on your own and understanding, like, Diamond's gonna have her own story outside of her aunt. I'm not going to have to reach out to her all the time, but I will understand that whatever I go through, I have to understand why it worked and why it didn't
Mhm.
work. So
Right.
you understanding that now, when did you finally see, like, all right, this is real? Like, we making some noise.
Probably 3 months in from me opening last year.
Mm.
Like, I'm like, wait, yo, like, this is really happening. Like, I was getting like constant customers, constant sales, like, and I'd never had that before. And it took me to like opening the store in order to get that. Not everybody's going to have to do something drastic like that in order to get to the point where they want to. But for me, once I opened the store 3 months in, like, I was actually still working my job when I opened up last year. Um, so I opened up in April. By July, I was done with that job and I started doing it full time. And I've been doing this full time since July of last year. So yeah, like I said, like 3 months in was really when I was like, yeah, like, this is for real.
Mm. Thank God, though. That's dope. Like, so, and I noticed that you're a mother now too. So are there any
Yeah.
similarities from watching your business be birthed, so to speak, and giving birth to a child?
Yeah, it kind of is the same thing. Like, a child needs to be nurtured, a child needs to be cared for. Can't leave her alone for too long before she's into something. It's the same with a business. It has to be nurtured. You have to put your time into it in order for it to grow. Um, So yeah, it really is like the same thing.
Hmm.
And it's good to see when you put your work into something, you know, how it grows up. And same with my daughter, like what I put into her, I can see her, you know, following that and, you know, growing up or whatever. So it really is like the same thing hand in hand.
Mm. That's beautiful. Um, it's crazy because it's like I don't think anything can prepare you properly for motherhood or parenthood. You know, to the
Nah,
guys out there watching. But would you say that you having a business prior to that kind of got you somewhat there?
no, not at all. Honestly, I didn't want kids. So
Oh.
when she came about, like that was like a smack in the face. Like, oh, for real? So not, and like some people they might not they might want kids, don't have a specific like time frame, but for me, because I didn't want kids, I was kind of like thrown into it. So I wasn't the type of person that was prepared for it. But I feel like you can never really be prepared for it. But yeah, that was a whole lot to take on. And when I got pregnant, I was still online at the time, and I actually took like a year break because it was a lot. It really was a lot being pregnant and trying to run a business and stuff like that. And I'm like, if I want to come back, I have to come back with a bang, because I've been
Mm.
gone for like a whole year and can't just come back the same way I did. So after I had my daughter, I think she was like 9 months. I'm like, I want to open a store. Like when I relaunch my brand, like that's what I want to do. I want to come back with the grand opening saying, you know, I'm about to, you know, open a new location or whatever. And for after I had her, like that was like the jump I needed to get myself started and to you know, change how my business was already ran like for the last couple of years or whatever. So it was a blessing in disguise, honestly. I didn't want her, but she was a blessing.
My thing is, you said you didn't want. Did you not want kids at the time, or no kids? Period.
Yeah, because I was trying to run a business, I was trying to grow a business, you know, trying to figure stuff out. So I felt like when I got pregnant, I'm like, it was the wrong timing. I guess I
Mm.
shouldn't say I didn't want kids. It was just, I didn't want any kids yet. So when I did have her, I was like really surprised or whatever. But like I said, she's a blessing. Like I can't even imagine like my life without her, honestly.
Mm. Every good parent that I know, because there's some bad apples out there, tells me that though. So my mom tells me it all the time, even though when we get on the nerves, I like to ask that question. So I like that. But in that year when you took off though, like what did you do to kind of keep yourself sharp? You know, because
I kept,
somebody that plays sports can't take a year off and then come
right.
back and they, you know, or it's a rapper or whatever the case is. So what did you do as a entrepreneur, businesswoman, and you know, a fashion brand designer? How did you keep yourself sharp in that time so that you
So
could come back?
during that time period, I honestly, I was still posting, but it was like sporadically, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, today, post every single day. And if I'm not posting every single day, I'm constantly posting on my story. So somebody's still seeing me. So during that time period, I still posted, but it just wasn't as much as it was before. And when it came to like me releasing like new products, I didn't do it all the time. I would do it like sporadically. So even though I wasn't like always in somebody's face, somebody still would see my post, you know, maybe like a month later, like, oh yeah, I remember about her. So even though it's not every day constantly they were seeing me, they still were reminded about me sporadically. Um, so that when I came back, it wasn't like, dang, that girl been gone for a whole year. At least they were still seeing me during that time period or whatever. So
Mm.
it wasn't like I was like gone for like, you know, a whole 12 months.
Yeah, no shots taken over here though. But that's good though. Like I said, because I feel like everybody needs that time away, and that's kind of like why I
Yeah.
did it myself. Because you see a lot of things even when you're trying to start something, even when you're trying to figure out which direction you want to go with your life or whatever the case may be. And you see a lot of things that don't really sit well with you. I'm not a judgmental person, so I don't want to judge someone off of, you know, maybe you may see something from someone you know and you like, man, you ain't living that. You ain't doing that. You know, maybe somebody's flashing some money or somebody's doing this, somebody's doing that, somebody's saying this, and it just became like too much to me. And I'm like, all right, before I change my ways, let me step back and then just enjoy my time away without having to check my phone to see what's going on,
Yeah.
or without having to look at my phone to see if anybody liked my post, if anybody reposted, if anybody hit me up for business inquiries. Like, let me just get away and focus on me.
Yeah.
So you doing that sporadically, was that self-care part of the, I guess, part of what you were doing as well too?
Yeah, it was because when you're pregnant, I'm pretty sure you know, like, your baby can feel your energy. You know, if you're sad, if you're mad, if you're angry, like, your baby can feel that. So, just stress wise, I wanted to be low key. I just wanted to protect my energy, myself, my sanity while I was pregnant. So, me just like sporadically posting was good enough for me at the time. Honestly, I was okay with that.
That's good. And so my thing is, because you always have to have a very good support system when it becomes like in the process of you becoming a mother and the process of building a business. So my thing is, I already know that support system is a lot more important when you're trying to be a mother. So let's talk about the support system you build in that business. Because I understand, like, me personally, I see it a lot of times too. Like, things get shaky, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, whether it's someone you've seen. Things start to get shaky, and then you really see who's there, who's not. So how do you handle those revelations, so to speak, whether it may be family, boyfriend, or your friends, where you're like, oh, you wasn't really right for me this whole time. You're actually holding me back. You're adding stress to my life.
Well, honestly, I've always been like a keep to myself type of person. I
Mm-hmm.
never been the type to like be around a bunch of people and stuff like that. So the people that were here before I even opened the store are the ones that are still here today. So I haven't really had a problem with anything like that, because like I said, I'm gonna keep to myself, like real reserved type person. I don't need to be around a bunch of people. I don't even have a bunch of friends. So my circle that was here since 2012 when I first started making my shorts are the ones that's still here with me today. So
That's
I'm,
great.
for that.
That's good, man. Because like I said, those situations are kind of rare. Like, you see guys like LeBron James still have the same group of people. Not only the same group of people he had when he was a kid, he actually empowered all of them. So they're
Right.
not like around him with his hand out. So is that one of the things that you kind of look forward to when you get to a certain part in your business, to, I guess, surround yourself with people that are like you, or empower them and lift them up, so to speak?
Yeah, like right now I'm searching for them type of people. I feel like I don't know many people that are trying to do what I'm doing and like taking it seriously. So I honestly wish I could find more people like that. But for now I'll just like stay in my little corner or whatever. But it would be nice to have other people, that think like me and want to run a successful business and stuff like that. It would be nice to have more people like that around me though. Yeah.
I mean, and it's not a bad thing that you're not like that, because I personally, like I said, me on my own thing, I personally hate when people are trying to force this entrepreneurship on everybody, because it's like, look,
Yeah.
everybody's not
Not for
meant to
everybody.
be an entrepreneur. Everybody's not meant to
Yeah.
start a business. Some people are actually happy with their 9 to 5, or, and I don't want to call a job a 9 to 5, but their job. Some people are happier doing that as opposed to being an entrepreneur, because
Yeah.
it's just you. Like, if you don't work, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's never going to work out. So my thing is, we always see like the entrepreneur is the it thing now. And I think that's
Hmm.
why so many people start and then don't finish, because it looks cool when someone's an
Yeah.
entrepreneur and then they're on a boat and then they on a vacation. But what you don't see is, like you said, the
Behind the scenes
almost
stuff.
10 years of getting those rejections, getting those,
Right.
this is cool, but I could always get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, so do you think it was important for you not only to step back to focus on, you being a mother, but the the rejection side of it? You selling your vision to people, and then them not seeing it while you being pregnant. So do you think it was important for you to also step back because of that as well? Because that can add on extra emotion, and women are emotional regardless. But having a child, bearing one, it makes it like 10 times even more. And that could, have lasting effect on y'all. So
Yeah, it can. I mean, even now, like people reject, what I got going on. So I feel like that's something that, and I don't take rejection well, because just the type of person, my personality, I just don't like that type of stuff. But I mean, it happens now, and I don't expect it to stop regardless where this leads me to. So it's just something I learned, I gotta learn how to deal with. And like I said, this is why I only surround myself with certain people, because I like to protect my energy. If I'm having a bad day, I'm bringing that energy home to my daughter, like, and I can't put my anger out on her and stuff like that. So my headspace, where I keep my headspace is like really, really important. So I try not to do things that I know will like get me to that point, or put myself in situations where I know like might be a little iffy, I might come out mad about this or something. So yeah, I'm constantly thinking about stuff like that, like all the time.
So I see every time you bring your daughter up, you kind of glow. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the skin or the lashes that's going on, or the, you know what I'm saying, the hair that's curled up, but it's definitely a breath of fresh air to see that, because, I've been around both great parents and a lot of parents that, unfortunately don't care. So do you think that it's possible for you to be great at what you do, but a terrible parent, or a great parent and kind of bad at what you do?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I can't speak on that because it's not my situation. I'm a great mother and I'm a great business owner, but I mean, it is possible, because people can really be really ugly, and yeah, people like that don't get very far, honestly.
And it's crazy, because what would you say is the most important part about building what you built, especially in the fashion world? Like, so many people want to start, their own clothes. They want to, they got their shirts at first, or whatever the case may be. Like, what would you say if someone asked you, "Hey, Dime, what is the most important thing that I can do to stand out?"
Consistency. That, like, honestly, anybody asks me that all the time, like, what's one thing what advice you can give somebody who's trying to start a business? And I always say being consistent, because last night I saw that Tyler Perry had the Forbes had named him a billionaire or whatever.
Shout out to him.
And I remember him like posting and saying that he used to do his plays and it was only like 7 people in the audience, and he did that play over and over, and like each year the same thing would happen. He would only have maybe a couple of people in his audience, whatever. But the one thing he kept doing was he kept going. He kept being consistent. He kept having his plays and doing different things to get his name out there, and look where it's got him at. So I feel like just being consistent is the one thing that somebody can do when it comes to being an entrepreneur, or owning a business. Every day is not going to be easy. You're not going to get a sale every day. You're not going to get a sale every month. You might go a time period without actually making anything, but if you stay consistent, continue to work on your craft, like, everything that you want will come to you, honestly.
So were you willing to wait longer than 10 years if it needed to be longer than that?
Yeah, because this is something I really want to do. I really have a passion for this. I really wanted to be an entrepreneur, like, and if it took me 15 years to do it, I was going to do it, honestly.
That's dope, because I think a lot of people step into this and they're doing things that other people are doing because it's the hot thing now. Like, I was just telling Ian the other day, like, everybody wants to be a trainer, and then I don't see them anymore. It's just because, like, hey, you want to be a tattoo artist, you want to be a barber, you want to be a trainer, you want to be a fashion, you want to be a rapper, but everybody doesn't see that day in and day out that goes into that. And it's just like, yo, if I could scream something in somebody's ear, like, yo, man, like, I don't know what it would be, but it's just hard to get people to understand that, like, yo, it's okay. You don't have to do this, like,
Yeah.
and it's good that you're not like the preachy type, because I'm pretty sure you have friends that complain about their job to you, right?
No, my friends really don't. I guess they all enjoy their jobs or whatever, so they don't really complain.
Okay, it's good. You don't got no complainers around you.
I guess you could say otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any people that complain about me, so to speak. Not friends, but I have a lot of other people around me, maybe that I'm trying to get, further in business, so to speak. They do. So
Okay.
I just tell them, like, if you really don't like it that much, then start writing some stuff down on paper and see what you really want to do. And then
Yeah.
take it from there, because you can start anything that you think can't be started on your own, you can start it. So are we going to get a Diamond Whitaker book one day?
Nope.
Nope. Well, we're not
No,
doing
that's
a
not
memoir,
something
a
I'm interested
biography.
in. No,
Why not?
that's
I
not
think
something. I don't know. I don't know. I just never thought about something like that. I feel like my story, I don't know. Some people might be interested in my story, but I don't feel like my story is like bomb yet in order for me to like want to do like an autobiography. Like maybe in like 10 years, come holler at me and ask me that question again.
I feel like I feel like in that time frame, since you started and even before you decided to start, you could find little pieces here and there that you can chapterize. And that's, I don't even know if that's a word, but we're just going to put it in there, that you can chapterize and then just throw it in there like, wow, like these were the building blocks for you to get to where you got to. Because I feel like everybody that's written a book has felt like, my life isn't ordinary, extraordinary, but you're doing something out of the ordinary. Like, you're a Black woman, and I understand, like they always say, Black women start more businesses now than they ever have been. That's true, but people still don't want to see it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So regardless if that number is increasing, people still don't want to see you win. People still don't want to see a Black woman rise into the cream of the crop, where not only are you eye level with other entertainers who may be females, but males as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Because truth be told, it's happening. You know
People
what I'm
don't want
saying?
to see other people doing better than them, especially if they know them, grew up with them, stuff like that. Like I have stuff going on now, and it's like I want to post about it because it's like a goal for me that I finally hit. But I'm like, can't do that because not everybody I know that's following me is going to be happy for me. There's people that follow me simply because they want to see me lose. Like they're waiting for the moment for me to post, something bad happened. I might not know these people. I don't know exactly who they are, but I know that they're out there. So when it comes to certain things, like I want to post it, but I don't. I end up just posting, like sending it to like my best friends or my sister or something like that. Simply because it's something that I hit, a goal wise that I hit, and I want to share it with somebody, but sometimes sharing it like publicly is just like nah, because not everybody is going to want to see me do good.
Mm. And that's part of the game, so to speak. Like, and I always tell people, like, yo, Floyd Mayweather became a billionaire not because everybody loved him, but the majority of the people that hated him paid to see his fights. Like, people were watching to see him lose. So a lot of people that's not only just watching you, but supporting your business, buying stuff from you, they'll buy it just to hopefully hear you having a conversation with someone close to you in that store that, all right, yeah, she losing now. Like, yeah, all right, now I can walk out of here hype. But then if they don't hear that, then it's that same sour feeling that they're gonna keep coming back and back and back. So, you know, I mean, you gotta give them something to talk about one day, right?
And I mean, I guess I don't know. Like, nobody even knows about this besides like my best friends and stuff, but I'm on track right now for doing 6 figures this year or whatever. But it's
Mm.
like I want to post about that, but it's just like no, because I don't know, like I said, who's secretly counting on my demise or whatever. So um you're like the only person besides like my family and stuff that know about that. But yeah, like
Sure.
I don't know. Like that's something like I've always wanted to do, and I'm finally about to do it. But it's like, do I even want to share that with people that I'm doing it?
I think not sharing it, and I don't want to say you're scared or fearful, but out of fear that people that want to see you fail are going to be like, all right, now it's time to really find some dirt on her, as opposed
Yeah,
to somebody else, because you do have people rooting for you. So,
I know. I know.
whoever's rooting for you could be having like a bad day or whatever the case may be, or just could be so out of the loop that when you finally post that, they're like, yo, I told you she was the shit. I told you, you know, so I think it's a double-edged sword. You're going to have those same people do that, but you're also going to have people say like, yo, look, I told y'all this is going to happen. And me personally, I like to be right. You know what I'm saying? So when I tell somebody before it's popping and then everybody on it like, yo, nigga, you late. Like I told you, duh, stupid. You know what I'm saying? Now listen to me from here on out. Maybe you could do that. You'd be better off, you know? So that's just the way I kind of view those things. I want to talk about something that a lot of people have been talking about lately. And it kind of stems from the whole Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion situation. Not specifically on them, but a lot of times when stuff like that happens or just anything out of the blue, a black man is always blamed for it. I want to know, do you feel like black women are really unprotected? I know that they're unprotected and probably the most unprotected out there, if we're talking about everybody, but do you feel that?
No.
Why?
I don't. I personally, like, you mean like me personally?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that. Like, I've never felt ever like unprotected by either was it a black man or, you know, like anybody in general. I've never personally felt that way, but I do see scenarios where stuff like that has happened. So personally, I can't give you no story on that and say, yeah, I felt this before, you know, this had happened or whatever. But like I said, I've seen stories and heard things where I feel like black women sometimes aren't protected or whatever.
Likewise. And I just don't like the constant, because it feels like even if it happens out of the fucking ordinary, like y'all can stub y'all toes and out of nowhere it's like, yep, see, them black men they ain't doing shit for us. So it's like, yo, like damn shit, like how we gonna stop that? So my thing is, I don't know, because it feels like now more than ever we're pitted against each other. Like black men and black women are constantly just butting heads, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know where it started. You know what I'm saying? And it's just weird. So I'm not sure if you're dating or not, but do you have those kind of issues when you're looking for a potential mate? You're like, these black guys been a little weird as of late, so I'm gonna go, you know, jump the fence and do something else. You know, you might want to dabble in some, you know, some white boys or, you know, whatever it may be. So,
Oh my gosh, no, I can't say that. Like, for me, skin color and stuff like that doesn't matter to me. As long as I'm like feeling you, whatever, like that's what's most important. So, I can't say like, oh yeah, like I'm done with black men. Like, no, that's not the case at all. Like whoever I fall in love with, you can be yellow. Like if I love you, that's what I love, you know?
yellow as in Asian men. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. I got you. So it just, because it's crazy, because it's like you saying that is not a problem. But if I said that, it's just weird. Like, you know, it's like if I said, hey, look, I don't have a problem who I fall in love with. Da-da-da. She could be white. She can be, you know, yellow. She can be red. And then it's like, oh, here we go again. You don't even love your mama. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, like, you feel me? But I do think, because it's 2020, so you not seeing an interracial couple is like, it's like damn near impossible to not see it. So you kind of already gave your perspective on it, but why do you think there's so many of our sisters feel like it's such a big issue when they see a black man out, especially with a Karen?
I don't know. I can't say. I don't know. Like I don't
You're
feel
rare though, because it doesn't
problem.
bother you when you see it though.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, because maybe I need to change my followers up and start following some of these losers, because I just see it all day. But it's like you're rare, because I hear from some people, some women in my family, some women in passing. It's just like I just, you know, I didn't understand why people cared so much, you know, so to speak. But since we're talking about dating, what would Diamond look for in a potential mate? Because another thing I want to talk about, you're a businesswoman, you're excelling, you're ascending and doing your thing. You know, I foresee that you have a lot of success. B. Simone said a month or two ago, where she's at in her life now, she couldn't date a guy doing a 9 to 5.
I already know what you're going. And I literally, when she talked about this, I had no comment on it. And then something happened like last week, and I made a post on my Facebook, and I was like, I don't want to date somebody that has no business.
That has one business or no business?
No business. They're like throwing business at all.
Mm.
I'd rather somebody with a 9 to 5 because they have more time.
Mm.
And I was going through a situation like that where I wasn't getting the person's time because they owned their own business and they just wasn't making time for me. And I feel like when you have your own business, I feel like you can make time because you make your own schedule. Like, I understand if you don't go to work, like, you're not going to make money that day, but you have a say so in that. You work for somebody else, like, you got to go to work because they're counting on you, you know?
Mm.
And I wasn't, like, I make time for anything that I have to do. Anybody that's important to me, I'm going to make time for it. I'm a busy person, but if I love you and I really want to, you know, spend time with you, I'm going to make time for you. And when I don't get that back from somebody who's in the same, like, shoes as me, I don't feel appreciated. So I'd rather somebody with 9 to 5 than somebody with their own business because I feel like they don't appreciate time as much sometimes. When you got your own business, like, I don't know, somebody who has 9 to 5 appreciates time more better, I feel, just from my personal experience.
So opposites do attract from your point of view.
Yeah.
So if they have the time and you just said you'll make the time, why do you think everybody else can't see it? Because my thing is I listen to it at least 5 to 10 times. And I'm just like, it's the difference between having a preference and putting someone down. You know, like we talked about earlier, everybody's not going to want to be a boss. But a lawyer who's making 6 figures a year, that's a 9 to 5 job. A doctor who's performing surgeries making possibly $1 million a year, that's a 9 to 5 job. You know, so I think being specific in what she said, that's what she missed out on. And yeah, obviously you wouldn't date nobody that's working at Walmart, just doing the cashiers and stuff like that. But, you know, a nice lawyer, policeman, I'm not
Yeah,
sure how
exactly.
you feel about those policemen, you know, but, you know.
You can date somebody with a 9 to 5 that's still making money. Yeah. And they'll have more time in their hands than somebody that own their own business making a bunch of money, you know? That's just my perspective. I mean, it could change, but for right now, that's how I feel.
And why do you feel like that might change, though?
Because I might meet somebody who has their own business that will, you know, negotiate their time with me. So until that happens, for now.
Yeah, so basically going off past experience with those past person or peoples, excuse me, they just weren't trying to make time. They weren't willing enough to make time. Because I always look at it like this: if Kevin Hart, Oprah, and The Rock, who are probably the most busiest people in the world, can make time for whatever they want to do, essentially what that person is saying is, you're not on my priority list.
Yeah, pretty much that's how I felt. And I guess they didn't see it that way. So, yeah.
So when Diamond's not feeling somebody, does she ghost or does she have to talk?
I'll let you know how I feel. And I'll let you know how I feel. And I'll let you know how to feel. And if you don't get it after like third time, then it's like, yeah, how many times can I keep telling you how I feel, you know? So I'll give you chances.
Know how to feel,
Huh?
What is letting someone know how you feel? Because everybody has different letting you know how to feel. They might just give you the cold shoulder. You be like, okay, I guess she's mad we didn't go to her favorite restaurant, whatever. So,
well, if something is bothering me, I'll let you know that it's bothering me so that it can change. You know, whatever we need to do to change that situation, you know, I'll let you know. But if I have to keep saying that and it's not changing, then it's like, how many times do I have to keep telling you? I'm not going to keep doing that, you know? So I'd rather I'll give you the talk, but then after a while, it's just like, I'm just going to go ghost because obviously, you know, things aren't, you know, like working out, whatever. So wasting my time.
we can't do that. We don't want to do that. I ain't waste my time. So I understand what you felt because, you know, like I said, even with the podcast, like, women waste guys' time a lot, but we're not going to talk about that. But even with the podcast, it's like you'll get a lot of people that's interested, and then this came up, or oh, my cat got stuck in a tree, and the tree is so high, I gotta wait for the cat. You know, everybody has excuses, and even when you're dating, you know, the day of, my tooth hurts, Poppy. You know, there's so many other things. You know, the dog ate the kids' homework, you know. So it's like, my thing is, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if you are, but do you feel that social media has really changed the way that someone may approach dating you, or way you may approach dating? And I ask that because back in the day, we would never think about getting a relationship with someone you meet online. But now,
it's okay.
Different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not even that it's okay. It's just that you're more than likely to interact with a person online.
Right. And I feel like when I ask my friends, like, they'll meet somebody, I'm like, oh, where you meet them at? And I'm like, oh, wait, you probably met them on Facebook. 9 times out of 10, you know, they told me, yeah, they meet them on social media. So I feel like now it's honestly not, it's not something out the ordinary to, like, meet somebody on, like, social media or whatever and start dating them.
That's dope. We'll switch topics or switch gears, so to speak. Have you had to make any type of adjustments, or how have you had to make an adjustments due to COVID? Because, you know, every store we go into, you got to have a mask, it's got to be a certain type of capacity, you got to get temperature checks and things like that. And oh my God, if somebody sneezes or coughs, y'all got to run out the building or out the back of the building, y'all got to quarantine everything. So what type of adjustments have you had to make?
Well, when I opened up in January. Then like 2 months later, I had to close down again. Never had anything like that happen. I'm new to just being a business in general or whatever with the storefront. So when that happened, like, that was like really, 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 really scary, honestly, because I had just opened back up from being closed for like 3 months, going through that whole process or whatever. So I'm trying to get myself back on the ball, and then boom, you know, I got to close again. So, that was really scary when I found out I had to do that, because I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do? You know, if I'm not open, like, how the heck am I going to make money? Like, this is literally my only income or whatever. But luckily, you know, God looked me out. Honestly, it hasn't even been like we were going through a pandemic when I was closed or whatever. So, but now that I'm back open, I'm sanitizing like all the time. I got freaking hand sanitizer all over the store. Disinfectant spray all over the store. I require people to wear masks when they're in the store. Like, I got to sign up or whatever. But like my 2-year-old, she be in the store with me, and she it's ordinary right now for her to wear a mask. Like, she knows when I'm about to go to the store, like, Mom, where's my mask? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, a 2-year-old should be saying that's not normal at all. But I mean, that's how our life is right now. Until that changes, I guess, like, this is what I'll be doing, you know, hand sanitize everywhere, disinfectant spray, Lysol wipes, you know, until I don't have to do it no more. But I don't feel like this is going to stop for a while. Like, I feel like this is our, like, new normal, honestly.
Well, we'll see how the winter does it, you know, when the flu season comes in, it starts to get a little bit colder. We'll see how everybody's reacting to it. Have you ever thought about, like, online shopping with the store, so to speak? I'm not sure if you already had that.
I do. I have a website online, so that's what really kept me going, having my website already, like, up and going or whatever. So while I was closed, all of my my sales was really through my website or whatever. So, you know, thank God I already had that in place, ready to go for, you know, people. But yeah, I'm just glad, like, that period was over, because that was honestly, like, really scary. Like, when I found out I had to close, like, that day, I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do? Like, it's not like it was something that I went through before. I'm like, all right, well, this happened before. I already know what, you know, I need to do in order to, you know, keep it going. So that was just like, I know if it happens again, I know what I got to do, whatever. So
that's good, man. I'm glad that, you know, like I said, a lot of businesses, not only did, you know, because we see a lot of businesses reopening, but you see a lot of businesses going belly up, and, you know, they're not coming back. You know, a lot of chains were closing. A lot of chains were closed. A lot of people lost their jobs and everything like that. So
now, if I say there was a barbershop opening up right next door to me, like literally the door right next to me. They, like, started doing their whole process probably like in February, and then pandemic hit, and like maybe like a month ago they started moving all their stuff out. They didn't even get a chance to open yet. And I guess with all that was going on, they couldn't open and stuff like that. So they end up packing their stuff and leaving. So their building is like for sale now. So, I'm fortunate that that wasn't like my scenario or whatever. But like you're saying, like there are businesses, small businesses, big businesses that, aren't able to bounce back from this. So, yeah.
So in closing, I kind of want to ask you, what's the next step for Diamond, so to speak?
Well, I told you that I'm doing I'll be hitting my 6 figures for the year.
Mm.
Projecting within um 2 weeks. So honestly, I don't know. I want to end the year strong for sure. I feel like every goal that I had on my list this year, I did it. So after I hit, my 6 figures, then I'll be making more lists with goals on it. So I'll have to get back to you on that one because right now I don't even know. Because everything that I put on my vision board for this year, I didn't expect to hit everything
Mm.
or whatever. So like now that I did, like, all right, now I need to think about the future. I know I want to buy a house. Like that's my next step, tired of renting. So that's something I'm working forward to working on too, buying a house. So, but business
Mm.
wise, I just pray, I'm able to just stay open and, do this full time like I've been doing. As long as keeping God first, I feel like I won't have no problems doing that.
I got you. I got you. Well, God has kept you first in his life. I'm not sure if he has a life because all he's doing is watching over us, but he's kept you first. You're winning right now. You're raising a daughter, beautiful daughter, I'm sure. And everything's working in your favor. It's crazy. Like when you first started, you're delivering these things to people. Now you have people coming to you. Like,
Yeah.
it's just crazy how things come full circle. So I just want to tell you first things first. I'm appreciative. Thank you for coming through. I'm proud of you, and I really hope you keep winning, man. Like this is dope. So
Thank
I just
you.
and you got to teach me how to vision board better because I don't like mine.
It's easy. I actually had a vision board party at my store last year while I wasn't open. I just had a vision board party there, but I plan to do like one every year because, like I said, it helps, and I keep mine in the store, so I'm looking at it every day. Like I said, everything on my list, I hit, so I'm ready for a new one. But yeah, we gotta work on yours then.
Got you. I got you, man. So guys, if you could tell people where to find you on your social media platforms before we get out of here.
All right, so I'm on Instagram at Modern Lux Studio, and then on Facebook at Modern Lux Studio NJ. Y'all can follow me. I'm constantly posting on both of them, Instagram and Facebook.
Got you. You already know who I am. Road to Q podcast. I'm your host. We out here.
See ya.